Ethan wiped the grease off his hands with a rag and looked up at the observation deck of the space station. The lights of distant stars sparkled against the black canvas of space, and the hum of the station's engines filled the air. It had been a long day of repairs, and Ethan was ready to finish his work and get some rest. But then he saw her. She was walking slowly, her movements elegant and confident. Her hair shone faintly under the station's lights, and her eyes had a color he had never seen before, a mix of blue and silver that seemed almost magical. Ethan froze for a moment. He had seen many visitors from different planets, but there was something about her that made the air around him feel lighter. "Wow," he whispered softly, almost to himself. "She's gorgeous. I wish I had a wife like her." Ethan immediately slapped a hand over his mouth. Why did he say that out loud? He could feel his face burning. He thought no one could hear him in the noisy observation deck, but then he noticed the woman turning her head slightly toward him. Her lips curved into a small knowing smile. Ethan's heart skipped a beat. She had heard him. Panic filled him, but also a strange curiosity. Who was she? And why did she look at him like she already knew something important? The next day, Ethan tried to focus on his work, but he kept stealing glances at the observation deck. He saw her again, standing near the railing, looking at the stars as if she had all the time in the universe. She seemed to float in her own world, yet he felt drawn to her presence. Eventually, he couldn't resist. He walked over, pretending to check a broken sensor near the deck. His hands shook slightly as he worked, though he tried to hide it. "You're very good at repairs," the woman said suddenly, her voice smooth and calm. Ethan jumped slightly. Thank you," he stammered, trying not to look as nervous as he felt. "I'm Lyra," she said, holding out a hand. Her fingers were long and delicate, but there was strength in them. Ethan shook it carefully. "I'm Ethan," he replied. He tried to act casual, but he felt clumsy. "Nice to meet you. Again." Lyra's eyes twinkled. "I heard what you said yesterday," she said softly, almost teasingly. Ethan's stomach dropped. I didn't mean," he began, but Lyra raised a finger, stopping him. "No need to explain," she said. "I like honesty. It is rare among those I meet." Ethan blinked. You do?" Lyra nodded. "Yes. Most beings speak carefully. They hide their thoughts, but you said what you felt. That is unusual and interesting." Ethan felt a little more relaxed, though he was still embarrassed. "I guess I just spoke my mind." "Humans are brave in that way," Lyra said, her smile warm. "You are brave and sincere. Those are qualities I respect." Ethan swallowed hard. He had never been complimented like this before by an alien visitor, and it made him feel both proud and nervous. Over the next few days, Ethan found himself encountering Lyra more often. Sometimes it was by accident. Other times it seemed like she was deliberately near the places he worked. Each time she asked questions about humans, about Earth, and about his life. Ethan answered honestly, telling her about his childhood, his love for space machines, and even the little dreams he kept to himself. Lyra listened, fascinated. She asked about simple things, like what humans ate, what music they liked, and what they laughed at. But she also asked deeper questions about courage, trust, and feelings. Ethan realized she was learning more than he had expected, not just about humans, but about him. One evening, while the station rotated slowly around a distant planet, Ethan and Lyra found themselves alone near the observation deck. The stars outside seemed endless, stretching far beyond anything they could imagine. Ethan took a deep breath. "Lyra, can I ask you something?" he said, his voice low. "Of course," she replied, turning to him with a gentle smile. I don't usually do this, but would you like to maybe walk with me on the station's promenade? Just talk?" His words felt small compared to the vastness of space around them, but he said them anyway. Lyra considered for a moment, then nodded. "I would like that." As they walked, Ethan felt a strange mix of excitement and fear. He wanted to say everything he felt, but he also wanted to be careful. Lyra seemed patient, giving him space, yet her presence made him braver than usual. They talked about many things: the stars, the different planets she had visited, the machines Ethan repaired, and the little joys of life. She laughed at his jokes, even when they were silly, and Ethan felt his confidence grow. Finally, they reached the edge of the promenade, overlooking a field of floating cargo ships below. Ethan stopped, feeling the weight of the moment. He glanced at Lyra, who was looking at him quietly, her eyes reflecting the distant stars. I hope this doesn't sound strange," Ethan began, "but I'm glad you heard what I said the other day. About wishing I had a wife like you." Lyra's smile widened. It did not sound strange. It sounded honest. And that honesty is a rare and valuable. Ethan felt his heart swell. For the first time, he realized that perhaps this was the start of something more than just curiosity or chance encounters. Perhaps humans and aliens could find common ground in honesty, courage, and simple feelings shared openly. As they stood there, the stars stretching endlessly before them, Ethan thought that maybe, just maybe, life on the edge of the galaxy could be full of unexpected connections, and perhaps one of those connections could change everything for him, forever. The next morning, Ethan woke up with a strange mix of excitement and nervousness. He couldn't stop thinking about Lyra and the way she had smiled at him on the observation deck. Her presence lingered in his mind like a bright star that refused to fade. He tried to focus on his repairs, but every time he adjusted a circuit or checked a sensor, his thoughts drifted back to her. By mid-afternoon, he had given up pretending he could work in peace. He decided to visit the observation deck again, hoping to see her. As he arrived, he saw her standing near the railings, gazing at the stars. She seemed to float in her own world, her silver-blue eyes reflecting the distant galaxies. "Ethan," Lyra said softly, noticing him almost immediately, "you seem distracted." Ethan stumbled over his words, scratching the back of his neck. "Yeah, I guess I am. It's a busy day for repairs, you know." Lyra tilted her head slightly, a teasing smile forming on her lips. "Busy, or thinking about something else?" Ethan's heart pounded. She had a way of looking at him that made it impossible to lie. He opened his mouth to answer, but nothing came out. Instead, he just nodded awkwardly. Lyra laughed lightly. "It is okay. Humans are often honest in ways I find intriguing. It is refreshing." Ethan swallowed hard. "Thanks, I guess." "Tell me," Lyra said, leaning slightly against the railing, "what do humans value most?" Ethan blinked. He hadn't expected such a question so suddenly. I think honesty, courage, and friendship. And, I guess, the little things that make life enjoyable, like food, music, and laughter." Lyra nodded, listening carefully. "Interesting. I admire how humans focus on emotions and simple joys. Many of my people focus only on efficiency and duty." Ethan smiled nervously. "Well, we like a little chaos sometimes." Lyra's laughter rang softly through the deck. "Chaos can be beautiful if handled well," she said. For a moment, they both watched the stars in silence. Then, Lyra's expression changed to something curious. "You mentioned wishing you had a wife like me." Ethan's face turned bright red. I didn't mean it like that. Lyra raised a hand, stopping him. "It is fine. Your honesty is admirable. It does not bother me. In fact, it makes you different from most I meet." Ethan blinked, trying to understand. "Different? In a good way?" Lyra nodded. "Yes. Humans have a way of showing feelings openly, and it is rare. Many species hide their thoughts or manipulate words. You do not." Ethan felt a mix of relief and embarrassment. He wanted to say something clever, but his mind was blank. "Would you like to walk with me?" he asked finally. pointing toward the promenade. We can talk about anything. Lyra considered him for a moment, then smiled. I would like that. As they walked, Ethan tried to act casual, though his heart raced with every step. Lyra moved gracefully, glancing at him occasionally with curiosity. Ethan realized that while he had been nervous before, now he felt more alive than he had in weeks. I've never met a human like you before, Lyra said suddenly. You are different. You care about feelings, yet you are brave. You are small in size compared to some species, yet your mind and heart are large. Ethan chuckled nervously. I guess we humans try our best. Lyra's eyes sparkled. Your best is, impressive. I wish more of my people thought like you. They reached a quiet corner of the promenade, where the lights reflected softly off the polished floor. Ethan stopped, unsure of what to say next. He felt the need to explain himself, yet he also wanted to simply enjoy this moment. You know, he began slowly. I didn't expect you to hear what I said. I thought it was just a stupid whisper. Lyra tilted her head. It was not stupid, it was honest, and honesty is rare. I respect that. Ethan's lips twitched into a small smile. I'm glad. You don't think I'm crazy? I think you are. Fascinating, Lyra said softly. Ethan blinked. Fascinating? Yes, she said simply. You are human, and humans are unique. Your emotions, your bravery, your curiosity, it is all intriguing. Ethan's heart raced. He wanted to say something meaningful, but hoping she understood that he felt. The space station was quieter than usual that morning. Ethan was inspecting a cargo transport unit when he noticed Lyra walking toward him, her expression a mix of curiosity and concern. She held a small device in her hand that flickered faintly. Ethan, she said, her voice calm but urgent. Something is happening on the docking bay. I think someone is trying to steal technology. Ethan's heart jumped. Steal technology? What kind of technology? Lyra glanced around, making sure no one else was nearby. Advanced systems from this station, something humans might not even know how to use fully. But I know they are. After it. Ethan felt a surge of adrenaline. All right, let's check it out. We need to stop them. As they hurried toward the docking bay, Lyra explained that a small gang of smugglers often targeted stations along this sector of the galaxy. They were clever, fast, and had technology that could outmatch most humans. But Ethan felt something stir inside him, a mixture of fear and determination. He couldn't let anyone harm his station, and he certainly couldn't let Lyra get hurt. When they arrived, the docking bay was eerily quiet. A few crates floated near the airlocks, tethered by magnetic locks. Ethan noticed subtle signs that the locks had been tampered with. They're here, he whispered. Lyra nodded, pulling out a small scanner. Yes, and they are fast. We need to be careful. Ethan quickly assessed the situation. The smugglers were not yet inside the main bay, but if they entered, they could get the technology before anyone stopped them. He looked at Lyra. We need a plan. She smiled faintly. You humans are good at improvising. Lead the way. Ethan took a deep breath. He decided to use the drones in the bay as a distraction. He activated one of the maintenance drones and sent it floating toward the main doors, making noise to draw attention. As the smugglers approached, Ethan hid behind a storage crate with Lyra. When the doors opened, 3 figures in dark suits slipped inside. They moved quickly, but Ethan and Lyra were ready. Ethan pressed a control button on his wrist device, and the crate they were hiding behind shot out a net, catching one of the intruders by surprise. Nice work, Lyra whispered. Ethan grinned. Thanks. Your turn? Lyra raised her hand and tapped her device. A low pulse shot out, temporarily disabling the suits of the other 2 intruders. They stumbled, giving Ethan time to push them into a containment chamber. The action was over in minutes. Ethan and Lyra stood in the middle of the docking bay, breathing heavily, surrounded by the captured smugglers. The station's security, Drones arrived shortly after to secure them. That was impressive, Lyra said, her eyes sparkling. You humans are brave and clever. Ethan felt a rush of pride. We had teamwork. I couldn't have done it without you. Lyra shook her head. No, you showed ingenuity. You thought fast. That is rare. Many of my people would not have acted so calmly under pressure. Ethan scratched his head. Well, I guess humans do strange things when scared. It's like we find a way. Lyra smiled, clearly amused. A way? Yes. That is what makes humans unique. You face danger with courage, yet you do not rely only on strength. You think, you adapt, and you act. Ethan felt a warmth inside him. He had always known humans were resilient, but hearing it from someone like Lyra made him realize how remarkable their qualities might look to others. After the excitement, Lyra led Ethan to a quieter part of the station. I wanted to show you something, she said, holding a small panel from one of the smuggler's devices. These gadgets are advanced, but primitive compared to what humans could do if you worked together. Ethan examined the panel, intrigued. It's complicated, but I think I could improve it. Lyra's eyes widened. You could? Humans can take something alien and make it better? Ethan nodded. It's called problem solving. We like challenges. She laughed softly. And that is why I find humans fascinating. You do not fear difficulty. You see opportunity. For the next hour, Ethan and Lyra tinkered with the device. They improved its energy efficiency and added a simple safety mechanism. Though it was a small accomplishment, both of them felt a sense of pride. Lyra looked at Ethan with admiration. You are remarkable, she said softly. Ethan felt his cheeks grow warm. I just do what I can. Lyra stepped closer. No, what you do is extraordinary. Your courage, your honesty, your ability to adapt. It is something my people seldom see. You are human, and that is admirable. Ethan's heart raced. For the first time, he felt truly recognized, not just as a human, but as an individual. Lyra, thank you, he said quietly, for believing in me and for helping me today. She smiled gently. No, Ethan, you helped me as much as I helped you. That is what matters. They stood together looking out at the stars. The space beyond was calm again, but Ethan knew that life on the station would never feel quite the same. He had faced danger, worked with someone extraordinary, and discovered something more about himself. Lyra's presence beside him felt comforting, yet exhilarating. He realized that perhaps this was only the beginning. Adventures would come, challenges would arise, but he felt ready, especially with someone like Lyra by his side. As the station lights dimmed, signaling the end of the day, Ethan felt a quiet sense of accomplishment. He had survived danger, proven his abilities, and grown closer to someone who seemed from another world but understood him better than anyone else. And deep inside, he knew that this was only the start of their story. A story that would take them to new worlds, test their courage, and show them the remarkable ways humans could shine in the galaxy. The day after their adventure in the docking bay, Ethan found himself unusually awake early. He could not stop thinking about Lyra, her calm confidence and the way she seemed to see something special in humans. As he walked to the observation deck, he wondered what she was doing now. To his surprise, she was already there, waiting for him. Good morning, Ethan, Lyra said with a small, knowing smile. I thought we could spend some time together, away from machines, away from repairs. I want to show you something. Ethan's heart raced. Sure. Lead the way. Lyra led him to a quieter part of the station, a section reserved for visiting dignitaries. The room was filled with holographic displays showing alien landscapes, star maps, and the cultural histories of her people. Ethan could feel the hum of advanced technology all around him. This is my world, Lyra said softly, gesturing to the displays. I want you to see what we value, how we think, and how we live. Ethan stepped closer, fascinated. The images shimmered in the air, showing scenes of alien cities, strange creatures, and towering structures that defied human engineering. "It's amazing," he whispered. "I've never seen anything like this." Lyra smiled. "And I want to see your world as well. Humans have something unique, something that cannot always be shown in machines or buildings. I want to understand it." Ethan's face lit up. "I'd be happy to show you. Maybe we can start with food. Humans love food." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "Food? Tell me more." Ethan laughed softly. "It's simple, really. We eat to survive, yes, but we also enjoy the flavors, the smells, and the time spent sharing meals with others. It's a way to connect." Lyra tilted her head. "Interesting. Connection through food. I would like to see this human ritual." Ethan led her to a small kitchen area. He started preparing a simple meal: bread, cheese, and roasted vegetables. Lyra watched carefully, her silver blue eyes observing every movement. She reached out, touching a piece of bread. "You do not rush," she said. "You seem to enjoy the process, not just the result." Ethan nodded. "Yes. Life is about more than just work or survival. It's the little moments that matter." Lyra smiled softly, clearly impressed. "Humans are wise in this way. You value emotions and experiences. Many of my people do not." As they sat and shared the meal, Ethan noticed how easily Lyra laughed at his small jokes and playful mistakes. He realized that despite their differences, they were learning from each other. She was teaching him about her world, and he was teaching her about his. After the meal, they walked to a small garden dome on the station. Alien plants thrived there, some familiar, some completely unknown to Ethan. Lyra explained the purpose of each plant. Some were medicinal, some ornamental, and some were used for rituals. Ethan listened intently, fascinated by her knowledge. "You see," Lyra said, touching a delicate flower, "my people are precise. We plan, we calculate, we measure. Emotions are sometimes seen as a distraction, but humans, you embrace them. You take risks based on feelings, not just logic." Ethan smiled. "Maybe we are a little messy, but I think that's what makes life exciting." Lyra looked at him thoughtfully. "Excitement. That is something humans bring to the galaxy. You make even simple moments special." Ethan felt a warmth in his chest. He realized that this was more than just curiosity. It was a connection. Despite coming from different worlds, they were finding common ground in laughter, learning, and shared experiences. Later, as the station rotated slowly past a distant planet, Lyra guided Ethan to a quiet observation area. The stars stretched endlessly, reflecting in the glass walls. Ethan felt small in comparison to the vastness of space, yet being there with Lyra made him feel important, like he had a purpose beyond his daily tasks. "You humans," Lyra said, softly, "have courage, ingenuity, and warmth, but you also value simple things: trust, laughter, honesty. That is what makes you remarkable." Means. A few days later, the calm of the space station was broken by urgent alerts. Ethan was in the maintenance bay, checking a routine energy conduit, when a loud alarm blared. Red lights flashed, and a holographic screen popped up, showing a warning. From the station security, "Unauthorized vessel approaching." Ethan's heart raced. "Not again," he muttered, wiping sweat from his forehead. But before he could react, Lyra appeared beside him. Her expression was serious, more intense than Ethan had ever seen. "They are here," she said quietly. "A faction from my people. They do not approve of me associating with a human. They will test you, and they will judge if you are worthy." Ethan's stomach tightened. "Test me? What kind of test?" Lyra shook her head. "I do not know the details, but you must remain calm and prove your intentions are genuine. They will challenge you, question your loyalty, and try to intimidate you. Are you ready? Ethan took a deep breath. I have to be. For you. For us. The docking bay doors opened, revealing a sleek, black alien vessel. From it, a small group of Lyra's people emerged, tall, imposing, and dressed in ceremonial uniforms. Their eyes were sharp, cold, and full of judgment. Ethan felt a wave of fear, but also determination. Lyra stepped forward. These are my people. Ethan. Remain respectful. Speak truthfully. Trust yourself. Ethan nodded. He straightened his shoulders and followed Lyra toward the group. The lead alien, taller and more severe than the others, stepped forward. You are the human. Who dares to associate with Lyra? He said in a voice like metal grinding on stone. Explain yourself. Ethan swallowed hard but kept his voice steady. I am Ethan. I am an engineer on this station. I have met Lyra, and we have learned from each other. I respect her culture, her people, and her values. My intentions are honest and sincere. The lead alien narrowed his eyes. Honest words are easy. Actions, harder. Do you understand the responsibility of being trusted by one of our kind? Ethan nodded firmly. I do, and I am ready to show it. The alien motioned, and two others moved forward carrying a small containment device. A challenge. You must retrieve this device from the simulation chamber without harming it. It is a test of skill, patience, and respect. Many fail. Do you think you can succeed? Ethan's mind raced. A test of patience and skill? He had worked on complicated machines before, but this was different. He looked at Lyra, who gave him a small nod of encouragement. I'll do my best, he said. Inside the simulation chamber, Ethan faced a complicated puzzle of energy fields, moving platforms, and alien mechanisms. He carefully observed the patterns, taking slow, deliberate steps. The energy fields pulsed unpredictably, and one wrong move could reset the simulation. But Ethan relied on his human intuition, creativity, and courage. As he advanced, he thought about Lyra, her trust, her kindness, and the way she had shared her world with him. That thought gave him confidence. Slowly, steadily, he navigated the obstacles, avoiding traps and carefully handling the device. Finally, after several tense minutes, Ethan reached the center. He lifted the device and carried it safely to the exit, careful not to trigger any alarms. The simulation ended and the holographic chamber dissolved. Outside, Lyra's people watched silently. Ethan's chest heaved from exertion, but he felt a quiet pride. The lead alien stepped forward. You have succeeded where many fail, he said slowly. Your patience, respect, and courage are acceptable. You have shown your intentions are genuine. Lyra stepped forward and placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. I knew you could do it, she said softly, her smile warm. Ethan exhaled, feeling a wave of relief. Thank you for trusting me. Lyra shook her head. It is not just trust. You earned it. Your honesty, your courage, and your willingness to understand, that is what matters most. Humans are unique in ways many species underestimate. You proved it today. The lead alien's expression softened slightly. Perhaps humans are not as fragile or unpredictable as we believed. Your qualities are worth respect. Ethan felt a swell of pride. It was not just a personal victory, it was recognition that humans could stand alongside aliens, not through force but through honesty, courage, and intelligence. Later, as the station returned to calm, Ethan and Lyra walked together on the observation deck. The stars shimmered vast and endless, reflecting off the glass around them. Ethan felt a quiet sense of accomplishment, but also something deeper, a bond growing stronger with Lyra. You were amazing today, Lyra said softly. I am proud to know you, Ethan. Ethan smiled, feeling warmth spread through him. I couldn't have done it without your support. You believed in me, and that made all the difference. Lyra's eyes reflected the distant stars. Humans often surprise me. Your courage, your ability to stay calm, your willingness to act with honor, it is inspiring." Ethan laughed quietly. "I guess humans do strange things when pushed to the edge. But it seems like we sometimes shine brightest under pressure." Lyra nodded. "And that is why I respect you. You faced a challenge, not with strength alone, but with wisdom, patience, and heart. That is what makes humans remarkable." For the first time, Ethan truly felt that humanity's qualities, courage, honesty, and emotional depth could bridge worlds and earn the respect of beings far more advanced in technology. And beside him, Lyra's presence made him feel that connection was more than just admiration. It was mutual understanding, trust, and perhaps the beginning of something deeper. As the station lights dimmed and the hum of engines filled the quiet, Ethan realized that life on the edge of the galaxy was full of tests, adventures, and challenges. But with honesty, courage, and allies like Lyra, he knew he could face anything. And for the first time, he truly felt that humans could shine in ways the galaxy would never forget. The space station had returned to its usual calm, but Ethan felt a restlessness in his chest. The events of the past days, the whisper he had thought was private, the adventures with Lyra, the test from her people, had left him changed. He found himself walking to the observation deck again, hoping to see her. To his relief, Lyra was already there, standing at the railing, gazing at the distant stars. She looked serene, yet her presence made the space around Ethan feel alive. He approached cautiously, unsure what words would fit the moment. "Ethan," Lyra said softly, turning toward him. "I wanted to see you before the station shifts to the night cycle." "I'm glad you're here," Ethan replied. He felt his voice steadier than usual, though his heart raced. I've been thinking about everything. What happened, what we've shared. I wanted to tell you how I feel." Lyra's eyes, bright and curious, studied him carefully. "I am listening," she said simply. Ethan took a deep breath. "Lyra, I know I am human, and I come from a world far from yours, but every time I am with you, I feel like we understand each other. You've shown me new ways to see the universe, and I care about you. More than I ever expected." Lyra's lips curved into a gentle smile. "Ethan, I feel the same. I've spent my life studying other cultures, other worlds, but I have never met anyone like you. Your honesty, courage, and heart, they are extraordinary." Ethan's chest swelled with emotion. For the first time, he felt completely seen, not as a human, not as a mechanic, but as a person worthy of trust, respect, and admiration. I never thought someone from your world would care about a human like me," he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. "But now, I hope we can be more than friends." Lyra's smile deepened. "Ethan, I would like that very much, but we must move carefully. My people are still wary of humans, and we must respect their traditions, yet I trust you, and I want to explore this with you." Ethan felt a thrill of hope. "Then let's do it together. I'll respect your people, your world, and your culture, I promise." Lyra reached out, gently taking his hand. "And I promise to meet you halfway, Ethan, to learn, to share, and to see the best in your kind as you have shown me the best in mine." The two of them stood together, hands entwined, gazing at the infinite stars. Ethan felt that, for the first time, he truly belonged, not just in the galaxy, but beside someone who understood him completely. Suddenly, a soft chime echoed through the observation deck. Lyra's communicator flickered, showing a message from her people. Ethan's heart skipped a beat, unsure if this would be another challenge. She read the message carefully. "They acknowledge your actions during the test. They respect your courage, patience, and honesty. They do not yet fully approve, but they are willing to observe. That is progress." Ethan exhaled with relief. "So, they accept me? Somewhat?" Lyra laughed softly. "Yes, Ethan, you have earned their cautious respect. That is more than most humans could hope for." He smiled, feeling a mix of pride and relief. Well, then maybe we can focus on us now. Lyra nodded, her eyes soft and sincere. Yes. Let us focus on what we can build together, one step at a time. For the next few hours, they explored the observation deck, talking about the future, about new adventures, new discoveries, and the possibilities of blending human and alien perspectives. They laughed at silly ideas, shared dreams, and found comfort in their companionship. Ethan realized that this connection was more than just attraction. It was respect, trust, and shared understanding. Lyra had opened his mind to new ways of thinking. While he had shown her the value of courage, emotion, and human intuition, together they were stronger, more CR,